Cora DeVos is my guest today here on Primetime Local News. She's a photographer from Vermilion. Now, Cora, you have some big, exciting things coming up very soon here, and we'll talk about those. But first, I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit more about yourself, maybe how you got into photography.
Yeah, my name is Cora. I'm the owner of Little Inuk Photography. I've been doing professional photography for about 12 years now. My journey in photography started when I was about 15 years old. My best friend and I up in Cambridge Bay, Nunavut, we had I always loved doing photos, so we would go and buy the northern store out of Polaroid film, and I would make her get dressed up for me, and I would take her photos. So yeah, that's how I got started in photography, and then throughout the years, my talent and love for it just blossomed. So here I am today.
And there's an exciting opportunity that you're able to participate in. A 7-page spread of your photos is going to be in a Chatelaine magazine coming out in November, I believe. Can you tell us a little bit more about that opportunity and maybe how it came to be?
Yeah, so I've been part of the Inuit Tattoo Revitalization Project up in Nunavut, where we have where my best friend Huvuk Johnston has taken it upon herself to bring the art of tattooing Inuit women back to our culture. So through that project, I would accompany the project to the northern location so far, and we would I would document the women's journey as they were getting their traditional markings, and then at the end of the week that we were up there, I would celebrate with a portrait session of the women. This resulted in us doing a book called Reawakening Our Ancestors' Lives, and we've published that book. And then from there, I've loved tattooing Inuit women and celebrating them. So one day I was sitting at home and watching music videos for some odd reason, and the Cranberries video came on, where the singer is painted in gold. And I jumped out of my seat and I went and took a picture of the screen, and I was like, I need to do this with Inuit women to celebrate us. So from that resulted in a series that I call the Gold series, and where this is a series that I've documented women throughout Canada, Inuit women, I should say, and painted them in gold to celebrate them.
Now, that's not the only big thing that's coming up for you very shortly here. From October until April, the Vancouver Maritimes Museum are going to be hosting an exhibit entirely of your photos. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
From October 21st of 2022 to April of 2023, the Vancouver Maritime Museum is hosting an exhibit of all of my photos. So that's very exciting. I'm getting geared up to go and attend the opening weekend, and yeah, I'm looking forward to having my series out there to the world.
Can you tell us a little bit about maybe how that happened? How did that come to be, and what kind of photos are going to be in that show? Is it also the Gold series?
Yeah, so this Gold series has definitely touched a lot of people, and I think the fact that Inuit women are being celebrated in such a way that, we were often taught to be ashamed of ourselves. In mainstream media, there was never people that looked like us. So now for the younger generation to be able to see us being celebrated and being seen people that look like them, it's going to be a great thing for all ages, I believe.
Now, you're Indigenous, you're Inuit. Can you talk a little bit more about how your background translates into your photography And also, how important is it for you to give representation through your photography, especially for kids out there that are looking maybe at some of your work, seeing Indigenous people represented in a way that maybe you didn't get to see when you were younger?
So my mom is a residential school survivor. So we we mostly grew up in small town Alberta. We lived up in Nunavut until I was about to the age of 3, and then I went back up there after my parents' divorce. But so growing up in small town Alberta, there wasn't very many people that looked like us, or you know, um, so while we were growing up, my mom and her past, we were made to feel like we had to assimilate. We had to be like everybody else in town. And out of my sisters and myself, I was the one with the darker complexion. So, it was kind of forced upon me to act normal, and be a level of perfection that was unobtainable. So yeah, I think that with the photo series and being able to celebrate who we are now, um, when I first got my first tattoos, my traditional tattoos, I almost didn't feel like I was Inuk enough because, like I said, being raised in the South, I was too brown to be accepted down here. But when I'd go back up north, I didn't speak with an accent. So I was too white to be up there, kind of thing. So having my traditional markings has brought me to a place where I feel connected with a piece of me that was always missing.
And Cora, before we go, how can people find out more about you or get in touch with you? You're based in Vermilion, so obviously maybe they'll just want to see more of your work or get in touch for a photo shoot.
Yeah, they can get a hold of me on Facebook or Instagram. Um, my email is on there as well, just under Little Inuk Photography. And yeah, I'm open to anything. So
All right, thank you so much for making some time to talk with me today.
thank you for having me.